In this video, we're going to use a geometric series to help us find a power series representation for a function. The function that we are interested in this case is x over 2x squared plus 1. We're being asked to find a power series representation for f of x, as well as the interval of convergence for that power series. We remember that our power series representation for 1 over 1 minus x is the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of x to the n. That just comes from our standard geometric series formula. Our sum from n equals 0 to infinity of r to the n is 1 over 1 minus r, and that's true for as long as r, absolute value of r is less than 1. Well, there's nothing special about the letter r. We can call it an x and get the same power series representation for 1 over 1 minus x. So that's how we're going to use, or how we're going to get a power series representation for this particular function. Okay, so we want to make this function look like 1 over 1 minus something, so that we can use that 1 over 1 minus x power series to get a new representation. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take that x out of the numerator and rewrite the denominator as 1 minus a minus 2x squared. So I have it in that form 1 over 1 minus something. So we've replaced the x with negative 2x squared. So in the power series representation for 1 over 1 minus x, we're going to replace the x with minus 2x squared. We can distribute the exponent n to the different pieces here and then bring in the x into the series because it doesn't have any n's on it anyway. And get a power series representation that's n equals 0 to infinity, negative 1 to the n, 2 to the n, x to the 2n plus 1. We know that the original power series will converge as long as the input, the x, has an absolute value that's less than 1. So the same thing is true here. The input, however, is negative 2x squared. So this series will converge so long as the absolute value of negative 2x squared is less than 1. That tells us that x squared has to be less than a half, and then doing the square root of both sides tells us that the absolute value of x has to be less than 1 over root 2. So our interval of convergence then is the interval from negative 1 over root 2 to root 2.